You're teed up for Golf News RI TV on CW Providence with your host Joe Calabro and his guests. We're talking everything golf around the region and on the tours. Now, here's your host, Joe Calabro.
Hey everybody, welcome to GolfNewsRI TV episode 19. I'm GolfNewsRI co-founder and CEO Joe Calabro, and thank you all for tuning in to the show. This is our second to last show of the season. Today, we are at Silver Spring Golf Course in East Providence. Now, East Providence has a lot of great golf courses, as we all know. Wannamoisett, Agawam Hunt, Met Links just down the road. But one course that, I'll be honest, I never really heard of or knew much about is Silver Spring Golf Course. And that's where we are today. And it's really a cool mom and pop type of place. And joining us today is Lou Roccabello. He's the president of Silver Spring Golf Course. Lou, thanks so much for having us.
Thanks, Joe, for showing up and being here and taking the time to give some people in the area and hopefully in Rhode Island a look at Silver Spring. It's been here over 100 years, and the publicity be welcomed for all.
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, I didn't know much about or basically nothing about this place until somebody told me about it. I said, oh, we're going to go check it out. And then driving by, you never even know there was a golf course here, to be honest. But you've been president here for 3 years. Just talk about the history of this place, how did it kind of come about? Obviously, it's been around for some time, but just talk a little bit about this place's history.
Sure, thanks, Joe. Standard Oil opened this, it's been over 100 years. And over time, it became an executive course and then a public golf course. And 3 years ago, it was after COVID, it was in dire straits. So we took a group in, some friends from URI, with a little help from them and a lot of volunteers. We took it over and we rebuilt it, and now we're making some strides, and we're pretty proud of what we've accomplished here.
Now, the course is what, is 6 holes?
It's 6 holes,
There's some alternate holes and different things you can do.
On one, it's to the right, there's a 7th green over there. And then you play a par 4, par 5 for number 2 and number 8. And there's 3 or 4 tees on every hole. So you always have a different look.
So similar to where we were last week at South Shore, where they have all different tees. It's similar here. In segment 2 of the show, we're going to go actually on the course and take a look and do a tour of the holes, if you will. But how did you kind of become involved with this place? What's your personal history as far as Silver Spring goes?
I started out, the state of Rhode Island asked me to remake Goddard Park for them. Mm-hmm. I became a superintendent there, became president of the Rhode Island Golf Course Superintendents Association, got involved, did other things, retired, and they asked if I'd come and help here. So with the knowledge of building and working on turf management, we got involved, and we'll be happy to show you around and say, you know, take a look around. I think you'll be somewhat impressed. And hopefully everybody will get to see what we think has become a really nice little place as a mom and pop, as you said.
Yeah, I think that's one of the cool things. You walk down the hill. There's nothing, you know. It's very, like I said, it's very mom and pop. I think that's a cool word.
Absolutely.
And it's very, you know, homey.
Yeah.
It's very, you know, it's nothing super fancy, but it's really cool. It's a really cool looking place.
It is, and we only have one person on payroll. It's done with volunteers. So our budget is under 6 figures for the year, and that includes everything. So you'll see what a mom and pop and a lot of volunteers will put forward over here, and I think you'll be impressed when you see what we've done.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting out on the course. For segment 2, you talked about how you've been involved in the game of golf for some time. What have been, obviously every course has challenges, but what are some of the challenges that you guys face being a mom and pop?
Well, the land is owned by Mobile, so you got to do a lot of negotiating with them. And so that's always a challenge for us. And financially, because we keep it low key, that's always tough because equipment, water, and chemicals and everything become difficult and expensive. We try to keep it so it's affordable for everybody. And we allow the junior members to come in at a reduced rate, seniors, and we even allow the East Providence High School to practice here for nothing. And on Veterans Day, we let veterans play for free. So we want to be open to all.
And you talk about, you're making strides and things. What's next for Silver Spring? Where would you like to see this place go in the next year, 2 years, whatever it may be?
I think we simply wanted to leave it better than we found it, but we're hoping that we'll inspire young people to play more golf and come up so that way someday they'll hopefully take what we feel about this place on. And they'll just look at it and say, you know what, it's worth saving, and we'd like to have more generations of that going forward. We'd really like to keep golf going. It's the best sport there is.
It sure is. One thing that's interesting about this place, and I mentioned off the top how many golf courses are in East Providence.
Yes.
Obviously, two of them are private, but Met Links just opened down the street. What are the advantages of coming here when you compare yourself? Not that you compare yourself to those places, but what are some of the advantages that you guys have?
If you went to Met Links, and nothing wrong with that, I'm sure it's very nice,
Yep.
but they're probably 3 times more expensive than it is here. So if you're somebody who's just learning the game, a junior, a senior, you come here because it's convenient and it's affordable, you can get right out. If it's busy, we allow you to play at another pot so you can go around and never really be running into a lot of people. Even though there's a lot of play here, we make it so friendly that we just want people to keep coming back. And I think you'll see when we get out there that even though for a small little course there's a lot of area to be moving around, and because of all the tees and everything, it really is easy to play Silver Spring.
The game of golf is changing, right? People are not playing 18 holes necessarily anymore. People are playing 9 holes or here 6 holes, whatever it may be. Do you have that? Did you have that vision kind of?
Time is a premium. It really is. And a lot of people that play here really enjoy the fact that they can come in, they get in, and they usually, by the time we start in the morning, by noon they're home. So they get all afternoon to do what they need to do. And it really makes it the ability to play golf, have a lot of fun. Most of the time we do scrambles, so everybody participates. It really is a lot of fun.
And for people that are now, after they see the show, want to come here and play, how do they go about doing that? Please
just come down, take a look. We'd be more than happy. There's always someone here to show them around, and there's always someone here to explain anything they may need. But I think if you come down, you'll be impressed. It really is for an affordable place. You can play every club in the bag here.
Awesome, man. Silver Spring Golf Course is located at 3303 Pawtucket Ave in East Providence, literally right down the street from Met Links. But don't drive by it. You got to pay attention, as you might miss it if you're not paying attention. But Lou, thank you so much for having us.
Joe, thank you for coming.
This has been GolfNewsRI TV. We're going to hit the course next. I'm Joe Calabro. Don't go anywhere.
Now back to GolfNewsRI TV with your host, Joe Calabro, and today's guest. Special thanks to our sponsors, Providence Performing Arts Center and 4 Evergreen Turf Management.
Welcome back, GolfNewsRI TV. Now we're joined by James Alden, who's the secretary here, employee, the only employee. James, thanks so much for taking some time. You may have noticed we're no longer on the practice putting green. We're actually in the middle of what you call the first fairway.
Yes.
So we're going to give you a little tour of the course. Is the goal here. So James, take the viewers through kind of what we're seeing behind us. 2 greens, obviously a tee box, and
right. Very unique setup that we have here at Silver Spring. We have the first tee box actually controls the first green and the 7th green. So right behind us, you have the first green, which is a dog leg right. One of the trickiest shots on the course, where it's about a 200-yard shot to the middle of the fairway, and then about another 75 yards to 150 yards, depending on your drive to get to the green. The first green is actually our smallest green on the course. It's very, very hard to hit too. So it's very good for the golfer to come out here and practice and to try to get their precision shot down. Now the 7th green is to your left. This is a pretty unique hole, where if you hit it right and you play the hill, you can get it down in 1. So it's a very reachable par 4, which you can get down Most people get it down probably about 100 yards, but if you play the hill and the slope, you can definitely get it down in 1. But if you overplay it, the slope, you actually can go in the trees. So it's a very forgiving hole, and then it can also be a bad miss.
How many people put their tee shots into the?
It's very, very
fence?
rare to see. Oh, on the green?
How many people put their tee shots over the fence?
Oh, I tell them to get buckets of balls for us to go in there. It's a lot, especially over under the fence and stuff. So definitely a lot of balls lost for sure.
No, you have 2 greens. Now you also have the second tee.
Right. So that's the 8th tee box coming back. So we're gonna play the second hole as par 5 instead of a par 4. So it's a little bit of a challenge, a little bit over the hill. Slope, so it's about 450 yards too. So you have to have a good tee shot. You got the big tree, as you can see, so that really interferes with the shot. So
awesome. Let's move on to other parts of the course. Let's see the rest of the course.
Let's do it.
All right. All right, where are we now?
We're on hole number 2, Joe, and this is what I call a scoring hole. So if you have a good drive over the berm, you can definitely get up and down for birdie, but you have to have a good drive. To the berm, it's about 175 to 200 yards, but if you get in front of that, it's gonna be a tricky shot over it.
And this is 2, right?
Yes, hole number 2.
So it's really a really scenic hole.
It is, you know, and another thing too, it's very forgiving. So if you notice that there's a lot of trees up on the left, so if you keep it to the right, you can definitely get it up and down, but if you push it to the left, that's the only danger spot on this hole, though.
And see, for me, I'd be worried about just getting it over this stuff.
Yeah.
That'd be my concern.
A lot of Pro V1s lost in there, Joe. A lot of Pro V1s.
Do you go hunting?
I do. I don't go fishing. I go hunting for golf balls. So whenever I say I'm going to go fishing, they say, "Where are you going to go fish for?" I say, "Pro V1s."
Yeah. Now, when assuming you hit a good drive, what does the second shot in look like?
Yeah, so if you get over the berm and you get by the red stakes, it's about a 150-yard shot in. So right from the berm, it's about 200 yards in. So.
And the green is a small green like the one that we saw over there.
Yeah,
or?
so I would say the second green is probably one of our 3rd largest on the course. So you can definitely get it up and down. So that's why you have a lot of room to play with on that. So you can get forgiving shots.
It feels like obviously you guys have a handful of carts that people can take, but it feels like this is an ideal place to just come and walk.
It is, Joe. And a lot of our seniors that come out here who have health problems and they just want to come out. It's not too hard on the joints and easy on the legs. So it's very, very convenient for them. It's 6 holes, so it's not like a long course where you have 5,000 square feet or 5,000 yards. Where it's very convenient for them just to come out and just get a quick exercise in an hour and then go home.
All right, so if you survive the first hole, you get to the second hole and you can score here. That's the name. That's the name of the game.
That's it. And birdies and eagles, right, Joe?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
In theory, birdies and eagles. I don't really make many either of those, but so anyway, we're gonna move on to the next location here at Silver Spring Golf Course. All right, we go from a scoring hole to a challenging hole. Even though it's a par 3, it's not an easy par 3. Tell us about where we are now.
Yeah, Joe, it's one of the most difficult holes on the course. It's about a 180-yard shot to the green, but with the elevation change, it's about 190 to 200, depending on the wind situation. About 5 to 10% get birdie on this hole, so I call it survive in advance and just pick up your par and go on to the next hole.
And that's the flag down there near that
right
box, it looks like, right?
Yeah, so if you nub your shot, you're going to be in a little bit of a valley. You can't really see it, but there's a little creek right in there. No water though, dry land, but you can tell that the elevation change. It's a blind spot, so you may think you hit a good shot, but when you get up there, you get shocked to see that it's not on the green. But one thing about hole number 3, Joe, it's one of our biggest greens on the course. So if you make a good shot, you'll have a shot for birdie, but the odds of making it are between 5 and 10%.
What's your favorite hole here?
My favorite hole is, this hole is one of my least favorites because I can't get up.
You can't score.
You can't score, right? That's the name of the game. My favorite hole is probably 5 because you can get on into hole number 5. Yep, it's a par 5. If you aim it to the left, you get up, you can get down. If you have great lengths, you can get on into eagle putt. That's the biggest scoring hole for me.
How many How many par fours, par fives, par threes are there
So
total?
yeah, so in 9 holes we have so first hole is a par 4, second hole's par 4, third hole's a par 3, fourth hole's a par 3, 5 and 3. So I would say about 4 par 3s, and the rest are par 4s and par 5s.
And this par 3 is one of the toughest holes on the course.
Yes.
Imagine that. Par 3s are supposed to be easy. That's why it's a par 3.
That's why we're unique, Joe. That's why we're unique. We add a little bit of variety to every single hole. So people come out here and say it's a small little course, but it's actually one of the more hardest courses to play.
And it's a great place to play. It's a great place to learn the game. And check out Silver Spring. You can use this tour as a guide for when you come and play. You said the player's guides for video games. You tell you what to do.
Yeah.
You can use this. Listen to James, and he'll tell you how to play well here. But really a unique hole. Obviously, there's plenty of room to hit the ball, so you can play however you want. There's senior tees up there, so it's pretty good stuff here at Silver Spring. So thanks for the tour.
No.
This has been fun.
My pleasure, Joe.
Let us come back and play and put your advice to the test.
Yeah. See if you can get a birdie on this.
Hey,
you might.
You never know. All right, James, thanks so much for the tour of Silver Spring Golf Course. When we come back, Scott Peters is going to join us, the vice president, to talk more about what Silver Spring is trying to do in the future and things to look forward to in the coming weeks, months, and then we'll wrap up the show. This is GolfNewsRI TV. I'm Joe Calabro. Stay tuned.
Now back to Golf News RI TV with your host, Joe Calabro, and today's guest. Special thanks to our sponsors, Imagine Gift Store and Schoolhouse Apartments.
And welcome back to Golf News RI TV. I'm Joe Calabro. Thank you all for tuning in to the episode and all the episodes over the course of the summer. This is our second to last episode of the season. Next week will be a best of or year in review show, so really looking forward to that. But thank you all for tuning in. Thank you to the sponsors and everybody else that's made this possible. Hopefully you guys have all enjoyed the content and some of the things that we tried to do. Perhaps even learned something through whether it's Charlie Blanchard or John Pannone at Spargo or whoever else. So thank you all for all the continued support. We're here today at Silver Spring Golf Course, and for this segment, we are joined by the vice president of the club, Scott Peters. Scott, thanks so much.
Thanks for coming, Joe. Appreciate it.
So I talked a little bit about it with Lou in the earlier segment, about kind of where Silver Spring wants to go, what you guys are trying to do, and you were telling me off the air about trying to turn this nonprofit or whatever that case may be. So why don't you just talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, correct. So one of the things we're trying to do here at Silver Spring is we're trying to become a nonprofit, because with the nonprofit, we're able to get some grants and will help us to get some money into the cost to develop a junior program. This year, we've seen a lot more younger players out here on the course, and like anything else in life, you need the younger kids to come in and kind of help take over. So we're hopeful that with a nonprofit organization, we can set up some programs that are geared to helping out kids to come out, spend time with their family, friends, and just be part of the society and community and get them interested in golf.
Junior golf is so big in Rhode Island. We cover high school golf, and we cover obviously Dave Adamonis and Challenge Cup a little bit as well, as far as Rhode Islanders go. It's so important to get these kids places to play, because now we're seeing it with high school golf where courses aren't letting the teams practice or play there. So even if they can just come and practice here, that'd be a huge thing for kids all over the state, not just in East Providence, but all over the state.
And that's a great point. We actually, here at Silver Spring, the reason I got involved and became vice president is a few years ago, my youngest stepson got into golf and he enjoyed it. He's a junior now at East Providence High School and he's on the golf team. Even though Agawam is generous and lets the students play there as their home course, as well as practice there a few days a week, there's a couple days a week that they don't have a place to practice. So we allow them to come here and they play and practice for free. We don't charge them, and we like to think that it's a big help, because the last 2 years for East Providence, since the golf coach has been there, he said that it's been the best 2 years that they've had in his 30 years of being there. So we definitely see it paying dividends. Personally, I can speak to it. So we hope to continue with that and get more younger players into the game.
And how did you get involved in the game of golf? Where does your love of golf come from?
So I had an uncle that was a very good golfer, and I was about 5 years old. He got me into golf. I was taking lessons. I played in my teens. I would go with my grandfather 3 times a year. 3 times a week, I'm sorry. We'd go golfing, and it's just made a lot of good memories. So since I was a little kid, I've always golfed, and now today I still golf, but honestly, I do a lot of volunteer work here, so I spend as much time on a lawnmower as I do on a tee, but that's okay because, every little bit helps here.
Yeah, I spend as much time typing and writing as I do playing golf. So as we're working in the game of golf, you don't necessarily play golf.
That's it.
That's what I've learned. But this has been amazing. It's been an amazing place. It's a place that I didn't know much about before getting here, and who would have known? Who would have thought? But it's really cool. So thank you to everybody at Silver Spring for having us out here and making this possible. And thank you to yourself as well for coming on. Any last parting thoughts before we wrap up the show here?
I'd just like to welcome anybody who's never been to Silver Spring to come to Silver Spring. Just yesterday, I was here doing some work, and a younger couple came out. There was a young woman from Moses Brown and a young gentleman from Hendricken. They were playing. They'd never been here before. They were having a great time together. So we just want to come and welcome everybody. We're in kind of traditional golf attire today, but you can come from the gym and be in sweatpants and a t-shirt and come and play. We invite everybody, and we're very low pressure here. So
awesome. Scott, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Thank you again to everybody at Silver Spring. This has been a heck of a learning experience for myself and my crew. And so again, thank you to everybody for coming on. Next week, we have Year in Review. We'll tell you highlights of the season, obviously our content, but also what happened in the game of golf locally, and much more. Also want to give a quick shout out to Gianni Fontenot, who won the Harbor Lights Club Championship. So congrats to Gianni. I'm Joe Calabro. Have a great week, everyone.
You've been watching GolfRI TV on CW Providence.